This story is going to have some details that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities, and my commentary might bother you as well. But that's your disclaimer if you need to exit the video. But this story comes out of Wyoming, Michigan, and a Wyoming man has been charged with murder after allegedly shooting his 2-year-old daughter and then turned the gun on himself. Wyoming police said Sanita Parker is 26 years old and he was arraigned from his hospital bed Friday on charges of open murder, discharging a firearm in a building causing death, and being a felon in possession of a firearm and 2 counts of felony firearm. First and foremost, he's being arraigned because he did not successfully end his own life. Second thing, he was already a criminal with a criminal record. He was a felon in possession of a firearm. The shooting that killed 2-year-old Khalees Brewer, who is this beautiful smiling princess that you guys see right there on my screen. Beautiful little girl. This happened at a home on Meyer Avenue between Porter and 28th Street in Wyoming. Khalees' mom, by the name of Cambria Brewer, told News 8, and I'm getting this from WOODTV.com, so thank you for the article. That she dropped her daughter off at Park's apartment on Monday for a visit and was planning to pick her up Wednesday evening. But before that could happen, police say that Park shot and killed the girl and then shot himself. On Thursday, the Wyoming Department of Public Safety would not discuss what led up to the shooting or a possible motive, though the police chief said it was not an accident. And a paternity test confirmed that Parks was the father of the girl, so this was his baby. Here's what you would also have to ask as far as a motive. That actually just added even more to it. Was there ever a question as to who the father was? If that was, that's usually a very emotional thing that a mother and father go through, to not know who slept with who cheated on who, and whose baby this is. That's a very emotional thing to go to. It doesn't make this any more right that you had an emotional outburst and a reaction like this. A judge ordered that he pay $167 a month in child support in December. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Brewer said that he was upset about that, but not enough to make her worried about Khalees' safety. They say they don't know what the motive was, but then they turn around and tell us exactly what the motive was. The father was upset about having to pay child support. Parks was on parole after his release from prison on a 2012 armed robbery conviction. He also has a history of weapons violation and domestic violence. So when you're on parole, what are you required to do? You're required to tell your parole officer where you're going to be living and where you're going to be working, right? And then they have to verify it. So if you're going to be living with the baby mom or living with your mom or whatever it is, whoever you're living with is more than likely going to know that you're on parole. Know that you just got out of jail, even if you did not know. A simple background check would have told you that, which means if you have these armed robbery convictions and violence and things like the domestic violence on your record, that means that you haven't proven yourself to be a suitable person to be around children. Right or wrong? It's just a wild thing. Let me give you guys the fair usage, show you a couple of news videos. Here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And thank you guys so much for being here. By the way, if you're listening to this video, do us a favor and please click that thumbs up. It helps share this story. It brings more attention and notifies YouTube to let more people come check this video out. So hit that thumbs up if you would, please. Let's get it.
In this, guys, what we do know is incredibly limited information from Wyoming Public Safety. At this point, they tell us a suspect is in custody at an area hospital with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and they're expected to be okay. But more on the suspect is that they have a history of being a felon, violent offenses in their past, as well as being on parole. They should have never had a gun. Community members telling me that this is the kind of loss that hurts everyone. As Delisha Foster puts her 4-year-old on the school bus, she can't help but think of the little girl a few doors down. Her name, Khalees Parks.
And I saw the little one maybe one time, and she was just cute, and I was praying that that was not her, but it was.
This mother's heart aches for a family she hardly knew.
There's no words, but she's in my prayers. And from mom to mom, and neighbor to neighbor, like, she's more than welcome to come by if she needs anything.
Wyoming police saying a child should never die, especially like this.
I think you can't get any more innocent than a child. And so when an innocent child's life is taken, I can't think of a plausible reason for that to occur.
For no reason, and what appears to be on purpose.
It's literally too close to my home for that to happen, and I just felt like it was unnecessary.
Now, a family grieving the loss of a child that should have never happened.
I cried last night. I cried because that could have easily been one of my kids, both of my kids. And to think somebody just carelessly, it's sad. It is so sad. And I just pray that she gets the justice that she deserves.
A woman who lives in the downstairs apartment says she was in bed when she heard the gunfire.
Came through my ceiling.
What came through the ceiling?
The bullet. Yeah.
The bullet came through your ceiling?
While I was watching a movie, yeah.
Missed her by a foot, she says. Khalees's mom says the baby's father is the shooter.
I cannot imagine. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I can't believe it.
Court records show it took a paternity test to prove the suspect was Khalees's father. In December, the court ordered him to pay $167 a month for child support.
He was mad about child support, but I'm just telling him, child support don't matter.
But not mad enough, she says, to raise any suspicions.
That's why I allowed her to go there, because I never in a million years really expected him to hurt our child.
He is on parole after his release from prison for armed robbery. Khalees's mom spoke today as she fed her 2-week-old daughter.
She looks like Khalees when Khalees was younger.
She had only recently started teaching Khalees about her inner beauty, even installed a mirror just for her.
I just was trying to install in her, Khalees is beautiful, Khalees is beautiful. Yeah. So anytime she looked in that mirror, she's smiling.
Anybody who met her, her light was so bright, almost too bright for this world, I feel like the world wasn't ready for her.
Little girls learn so much from their fathers, which is why it's so important that we choose a good father as an example for these little girls. And what does that tell a little girl? The fact that her felon father, still in trouble, still doesn't know how to behave. It has a long criminal history. This is what you're supposed to model yourself after in order. And I want y'all to think about this, because little girls are naturally supposed to find what type of man they like based on the type of man that their father is. They first learn love from their fathers. Fathers are so important and play a crucial role in these little girls' lives. Which is also why I say hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Because all you're going to do is when you produce children by thugs and have your children around thugs, that's going to continue to perpetuate that cycle. And that cycle will never end. And next thing you know, it's going to meet you at your front door. So I want you to also think about this. That neighbor almost lost her life, or even if she has children in her apartment, that stray bullet could have killed them as well. She was lucky. She said it missed her by feet. Very, very close to hitting her. So it could have also cost her her life. What we can't do is we can't just look at our own personal situations and just say, Well, my life is good. I'm not going to worry about everybody else. You know why you can't? Because they're going to turn around if they don't have any value in themselves, and it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your loved ones, and you're going to be looking up saying, woe is me, when we could all band together to try to fix this thing. We have to start having more honest conversations about how we bring children to this world and who we have our children with. It's one thing if you're single and don't want to have kids and then date these dangerous ass individuals. Look at this picture and understand that this man has a criminal history of robbing people and domestic violence. What is attractive about that? Somebody who's going to be whooping your ass, stealing, could potentially be bringing violence to your door. Because what about the people that he was stealing from? You don't think that they want to come back and do something to him? The retaliatory strikes, right? What if they find out where he lives, that he living in your house, in your bed, on your couch, playing your PlayStation, and somebody decide to come spray up the house, come spray up grandma's house because you decided to house a thug, somebody who has no future and shouldn't be allowed to be around children. These choices come with dire consequences, and I think that I provided a lot of solutions here. Simple things. Background checks. Don't date thugs. Don't bring children into this world unless you're bringing children into this world with a husband inside of a household, without having a financial plan for the children, without having life insurance for the children. All of these things are solutions if you want to look at it that way. But again, this is a very tragic thing. This is a beautiful little girl, and this little princess deserved to grow up and become something great. So Khalees, young princess, R.I.P. I'm DJ Just Jay, and thank you guys so much for joining us for this story. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and leave a comment if you feel like I'm saying, not feel, let me stop saying that. If you believe that I'm saying something wrong, tell me why. Tell me what I said that is factually inaccurate, okay? Thank you.